Good evening. Good evening. I love that we started with love. And I'm going to continue that theme. You know, I've been on an amazing journey over the last several years since I took over PolicyLink. And one of the things that I've become clear about is that if there is not a fundamental revolution of my own soul and the nation's soul, our work can't go much further. And I really want you to hold that. You know, we often fight over words, approaches, perspectives on the political spectrum. Tonight, I'm not talking to you on the political spectrum. I want you to consider that there's only one word that matters at this point for all of us. And that word is all. It is the unfinished business of our Constitution. And sometimes it's hard to hold that word because people say, well, you know, my needs haven't been met. Why should I care about someone else? Or how can I muster the grace to care about someone else when I feel like my humanity is not seen? Well, I can tell you that is our generational challenge. And I think that that is our invitation. You know, our democracy, it is imperfect. It is always going to be imperfect. It will be imperfect after our hands are off of it. But nonetheless, there is an invitation to continue to perfect it. And I actually stand on your shoulders tonight, accepting that invitation, because I know how hard you all have worked in community. I know what you have built in community. And now there's something else for us to build. A just and fair society where all can participate, prosper, and reach their full potential. You know, I don't think that that's wishful thinking. I think we can achieve that in our lifetime. But I think we have to do something in order to do that. I think in this moment, while we can all look for the right framing paper, the right words to say, the new piece of research that is going to liberate us, I want you to get still for a moment. And I really want you to reflect. Do you have a soul that can manifest the capacity to see the humanity of everybody and work in service of their thriving? That's a lifelong journey. But it's got to start there. That's not soft. Something like, all right, let's just get to the technical aspects of democracy. We have to start there. That revolution of the soul is an individual and a collective journey. And so I'm stepping into this moment, and I'm excited to be here because I think in this moment where there is a lot of destruction, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of chaos, it's tremendous opportunity. I feel like if you ever wanted to do your best work, your soul work, this is the season to do it. This is the season to do it. So I'm actually energized by this moment. And so I've chosen a PolicyLink that I think that before we just get excited about the moment and start doing things, I think that there is a specific leadership stance that we should take. And I invite you to think about the leadership stance that you hold as you move through the world and you try to make it better. And I think in this moment, we have to hold a founder's stance. Sometimes people say, Michael, when you talk about founders, I don't like that word because the founders of the nation didn't include me. Okay, we don't need to debate that. But I've already said it was imperfect, and we're going to continue to imperfect it. So I want you to imagine what would happen if you saw yourself as a founder of the nation yet to be born. That's what's needed right now. Leaders who can hold that stance. And I think there are a few things that we need to hold in terms of capacities in order to be a good founder. And the first is foresight. I think we need to look on the horizon and we need to ask ourselves, what do we actually want to build and for whom? What do we actually want to build and for whom? And this is why I said the all is so important. We've yet to fully build for all. So if you don't answer that question, you're most likely going to repeat the mistakes of the past. So what would happen if we had the foresight to build a nation for everyone? That's the nation building work in this moment. We don't need to go around the world nation building. We can start in our own backyards. So foresight, hold on to that. But I think we also need radical imagination. We need radical imagination. You know, sometimes I get frustrated in the places that I walk in because sometimes people use that word, and I'm like, if you ever wanted to see radical imagination, all you got to do is open your eyes today and you're seeing it. Whether you like it or not is inconsequential. But you're seeing what it looks like to get up and say, I believe in something and I'm going to go to the wall for it. I wonder when we will love that way. So when I talk about radical imagination, I want you to think about, will we transform the laws and regulations and customs in this society so that they will work? Will we build the institutions that we need? Will we be so bold to change the nature and the logic of our governing institutions so that they work for everyone? We have a chance to have that level of radical imagination. And then I think we have to have audacity. The audacity to recognize that no one's actually going to authorize you to lead this way. You're already authorized. You're already authorized. You're authorized to produce a set of results for everyone. We can do that today. And so what I want you to think about is we think about this moment that we're in. We can't come up out of this moment and not have the all situated as a core piece of the work that we have to do. This is not a 5-year pilot, a 10-year project, a piece of charity that's going to get you out of this. The all is going to be nation-building work that we have to hold fast to for many, many years. It's got to be situated on the consciousness of all Americans. We've got to be willing to compel our governing institutions to deliver the results and align the resources to achieve those results. That's still the best scaling apparatus to move people into the middle class. Don't walk away from our government. Own it and transform it. But you also now in this moment to have a leader's stance that is a founding stance, you have to have the humility. The humility not to impose on others, but to stand side by side in solidarity with them and build together. But I also, at the same time that I'm holding all, I want you to also hold. The thing we also have never done in this nation is build for what some would say the least of these. I don't like that framing, but that's what I got right now. Will you humble yourself enough to build for the least of those among us? We're smart enough and talented enough to hold it all. So be humble. And only 2 more. Love for everyone is the prerequisite. Not generally, but as Howard Thurman would say, particularly. I've said enough about that, but I'm telling you, if we skip over this, we cannot achieve the results that we want. And lastly, John Gardner called us to this years and years ago. Do we have the capacity to self-renew? Self-renewal as an individual, as a collective, as an institution is important. And what I want you to think about in this moment is this. What are you willing to let go of that no longer serves you well? What are you willing to let go of that doesn't serve this nation well in order that you can do something else? That's what this moment is about. Hold this founder stance and don't let go of it. And don't think that you can cherry pick which one of those capacities you want to really do. We've got to hold them all. There's enough student loan debt in this room. You've earned the capacity to be able to hold them all. You're smart enough. I know you are. So in this moment, when you walk out of this room, hold fast to the all is all we've got. From the time I've served in the military to now, that's always been the charge. It remains the charge. It's the unfinished business of our Constitution. I want you to get specific about the people connected to this democracy. Not just the word democracy, but the people that are embodied in it. When you lie in your bed at night, I want you to say, are you operating commensurate with your God-given capabilities to bring about that day where we've created that just and fair society? It's no longer just words, but it's the hopes and aspirations of our ancestors fulfilled. That's what this moment is. That's what this moment is for me. That's what it is for Policy Link. I know that's what it is for Represent Us. It's a powerful time. But that power has to start with how we have a revolution of our own soul, how we revolutionize our institutions, and ultimately how we revolutionize this democracy. It's an honor to be with you. Thank you.